Good afternoon and welcome to the vlog for today, Tuesday the 9th of December. I had to think about that. Hope everyone's good, had a good day. I was just going to talk about first today. I got a text message last week, middle of last week, from Courier Hub. I had seen something about them on Facebook. I don't think I really took any much notice, to be honest, but they sent me a text and they've given me a wonderful introductory offer of reduced membership for 18 months if I wish to sign up to their new app. I didn't know anything about it, so at the weekend I did have a look online, and yes, it all looks very professional, but the bottom line is I don't know how much work they have on the system. I could make a phone call and have a discussion, but I think, to be honest, I am happy with the CX. It works for me. I'm on the same day network courier, which price comparison is very cheap. That's only £190, just under a year, plus that. But I've never done any work on same day network courier. It's not because there isn't any work on there, it's just that I do use the CX first, and when I've looked on same day, I'm not in the right area, or I've put a bid on and the price isn't there, etc, etc. So I always keep that as a backup, and I do always look when I'm empty in a particular area to see if there's anything that suits, but it hasn't. But going back to Courier Hub, that would be the same situation. I think it would be a second or third choice. I don't know in time if it will be successful. I don't know in time if shippers will move across from the CX. I suppose for them, likewise, they probably pay more to be on the CX, but if they get their jobs covered, then they're happy. And there are quite a few shippers that post their jobs both on the CX and same day, so the likelihood is they will appear on CX and Courier Hub or any new one. But I wish them well. If you've been on it or are on it, by all means stick something in the comments and let me know. We're all here to be educated. Every day is a school day, as is the phrase. So yeah, we'll see what happens in due course. On to today. I left you yesterday. I was driving back from Gloucester. I picked up a cough. I picked up a backload stroke co-load, if I wanted, from Gloucester, going to delivery to Leicester in Suffolk this morning at 8 o'clock, or any time today, to be fair. The part of the backload thing was it could be delivered any time up to 4 o'clock today. I was on site this morning at 8 o'clock. The guys were just turning up when I got there, just before 8, and I'll give them a little while just to open up and sort themselves out. Anyway, I was all unloaded and it was off by, well, I was off site, just pulling off site by 20 past 8. Now, I mentioned yesterday, obviously this was a backload and it was possible co-load, and I took the job for £100. It was 7 scaffold poles and a couple of boxes, but when I went to pick it up, the 2 boxes became a pallet. And I spoke to the shipper, and it's important to speak to the shipper firstly to just clarify that I don't have the wrong goods on board, also to make them aware that if their customer has told them it's 2 boxes, it's now a pallet, they need to know, because, you know, it makes a difference for them, and it also makes a difference for me. And the shipper offered an extra £20, which I happily accepted. But when I'm clearing the job this morning, I was offered the smart pay option, and the smart pay option was for £95 for payment within 1 hour. Now, I mentioned yesterday, I have no idea about this shipper. I've not worked with them before, and they may well be a very, very reputable courier. Their feedback seems to show that they are. But 45 days payment end of month for me on this job would mean I wouldn't get paid to the 15th of February, which is a long, long way away. And things happen. If companies normally go belly up, they quite often go in January and February. The busy period has finished. January comes, it's quiet. They've got a lot of overheads, staff wages, and that's when it all comes tumbling down. So I made the decision and it's my decision to take the £95. I was doing this job for £100 originally, so I actually, although I got the extra £20, I actually only think I've lost £5 by taking the smart pay option. I did look later on the morning, about 10 o'clock, and the money was already in the bank. So you have to do what you think is right in business, and some people will say, no, you shouldn't have taken it, you've done yourself out of 25 quid, you could have waited 11 weeks. Yeah, 25 quid isn't going to make a world of difference to me, but it's just one of those business decisions I made, and I'm happy with it. So that was that. I stayed around in Leicester for about 10 minutes to see what was about. There was actually two jobs. There was a job for 9:30 in an hour's time, but it was for Crown Couriers, and I've never worked with Crown Couriers, so I don't know if they are a very good firm or not. People had told me to avoid Crown Couriers when I was starting up as a business. All had different reasons, but for me there was three reasons really on this job I didn't want to do it. Firstly, again, it was another 45 days payment, so again it's going to be the 15th of February before I get the job. The job was a small van job. It was going from Leicester to Colchester and then straight back to Leicester again. So it was 91 miles, and they put a fixed price of it of £92. I'm then going to finish back up in Leicester again, which isn't the greatest area, probably late morning. That put me off a little bit, and the 92, there was something niggling at me that, is that 92 including VAT or excluding VAT? I would have asked the question before I would have done the job, but it was just another little thing niggling at me. And the third thing is, you have to download their own app, and I don't see why. I'm doing the job on the CX. The CX app works perfectly well in terms of uploading documents and images, even better since the new app is on the scene. And then I've got to mess around downloading their app and probably replicating all the information again. So I'll give that one a wide berth. There was also a second job on there for 10 o'clock, so it would have meant an hour and a half wait. And it looked like it was coming from an owner driver like myself. He had no feedback on payment, but he had decent. He had good feedback on delivery. So I guess it was a owner driver that's perhaps doing a favour for somebody. And the notes turned around and said it was a dismantled bunk bed. Now the nice person part of me seems to think I'd pick that up and there'd be people there to help put that in the van, and I'd get to the other end, and it was going to Felixstowe, so it was a smallest job, 20 odd miles, it's going to be minimum price, £40-50, and there'd be people there to help me offload it and blah blah blah. The other part of me, cynical part of me, tells me this dismantled bunk bed's going to be on the top floor of a house, and I've got to go and do 3 or 4 trips to get it, and then there'll be some boxes and some bags because it's a house move, and then when you get to the other end it's a second floor flat with no lift, and I always think if your gut tells you no, don't go with it, and my gut was saying whilst it's in Leicester where I am, it's no, give it a miss. So I gave it a miss. I decided to drive away from Leicester, make my way down to Ipswich, which was or should be a better area. Gives me Ipswich. It also means I can get back to Colchester in a fairly quick time, 15 minutes from where I was going to park up. I needed to get some diesel as well, so that's what I did. Drove back down, got some diesel, got a Pret a Manger in the garage, so got myself a coffee, parked up. There were some jobs that appeared which I didn't get. There was a large van job from Colchester going to E16. Anything to E16 automatically rings a bell that it might well be Excel, which if you've done Excel, no, you have to book in, you have to probably get in a big queue. If you need a forklift, you've got to wait for your forklift to be booked in. It's 57 miles. I put a price of £90 on it. Not surprisingly, I didn't get it, but if it was Excel, I wasn't overly bothered. There were some other jobs around which I put prices on but wasn't getting anywhere, And after about an hour, so we're now somewhere around about, 10 o'clock, 10:15, there was a job appeared from Stowmarket. And it was a small van job, and it was going, it was a large van job, going to Whittam in Essex, which was about 48 miles, I think it was. About 48 miles. I put a price of £70 on it. That was unsuccessful, and the job then got reposted with a fixed price of £55 on it. I left it alone, and then about 10 minutes or so later it came back at £60. With me sitting there in the outskirts of Ipswich doing nothing and being about 25 minutes away from Stowmarket, I decided to swallow it, put the £60 on, which I did, and I got a phone call within a couple of minutes. So I made my way off to pick that up. Straightforward, one crate. Is going to a transport company that does a lot of work to and from Holland. If you know Whittam, then you'll know the company that I went to. Got there just around 12 o'clock, I think it was. Got that off, absolutely no problems at all. And parked up and had some lunch, had me lunch, which was with me. I've got the dog with me today as well, so he went for a little walk. And again, looking for a second job, and there was quite a lot of jobs around, but they was all sort of 45 minutes away and small distance jobs, which didn't feel like doing. There was finally, about an hour or so later, a job came up for Malden in Essex, 20 minutes from where I was sitting. 2 o'clock collection going to Cambridge. That is 57 miles. I put a price of £60 on that, and I got a phone call straight away. I was going to be there just before the 2 o'clock booking. This is where, again, I nearly made a schoolboy error. I've got away with it. The delivery time said 3 o'clock. Now, you're never going to get from Malden in Essex doing 59 miles to Cambridge in an hour. It's impossible. I got loaded, but I didn't leave till 20 past 2. They were just finishing packing the case. Time to get it on, time to get it strapped, time I had to write a delivery note out because there was no paperwork. Time I uploaded everything to the app. It was 20 past 2. I put in the ETA 4 o'clock. I arrived at 3:45. They were literally just closing the gates. Bloke asked me what I wanted. I told him I've got a crate on, and he's like, oh. And I said, honestly, mate, I said, I've got it here as quick as I can. Anyway, they were good as gold. He went and got the forklift, he took it off, signed the paperwork, I've pulled out and I've uploaded everything there. But literally, I think another minute, and I wouldn't have got that off. And funny enough, I was talking about this yesterday. And it's my own fault. With a 3 o'clock delivery on there, I really should have rang the shipper when I was leaving and saying, look, I'm not going to be there for 3. It's going to be closer to 4. I just assumed, and of course you should never assume anything because it will make an ass of you and me, that someone had just put that in and the firm would still be open at 5 o'clock. So lesson learned. I've had a quick look in Cambridge. There's about 4 or 5 jobs in Cambridge, but they're all for tomorrow. So I'm making my way back home. When I finish doing this, I'll have a look and see if there's anything to pick up this afternoon on the way back in Ipswich or Colchester, but I think it's going to be it for the day. Not a good day really. 2 £60 jobs. Obviously the finish of yesterday's job, which was a very good day. So if I bang the 2 days together, I'm over target. So, you know, it's the end of the week, not daily, what matters. Rambled on a little bit today, but I hope it was worth it. I hope you've had a good one. Take care, be safe on the roads, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.